last video, and I'm going to wrap everything up here for you. And I mentioned before, should we have to tolerate such behavior? And one thing you don't want to do is confuse relativism with tolerance. Big mistake. Relativism is a belief that there are no generally valid or binding moral standards. Tolerance is itself a moral principle. I truly believe that. To believe intolerance is wrong is to believe that intolerance is right. Hence, relativism must believe in at least one moral principle. And if we dig deeper, we may find more. So the idea as a relativist that I have to be tolerant is binding. It's a moral standard that I've put out there. But I just said there were no moral standards, and that's the contradiction that I'm talking about. Cultural diversity is really neutral between theories of ethical relativism and subjectivism, and is really an empirical fact. It simply is. We're all different. But it doesn't touch the idea of an absolute or an objective standard outside of ourselves. Tolerance is a virtue, and a tolerant person who is willing to live peacefully with people who see things differently is admirable. But there is nothing in tolerance that requires us to say all beliefs and practices, all religions are admirable. That just doesn't fly with philosophy, and it doesn't fly with the issues of justice. It doesn't fly with the issues of autonomy. It doesn't fly with the issue of not harming another person. Moreover, when we say none are better or worse, there is nothing to tolerate. Generally, what you find is people who are tolerant of everything except intolerance. And it does not protect certain people in the minimal morality that we proposed in the beginning. Do no harm, keep agreements, equality and reciprocity. These three ideas insist that everyone is treated in this way and has nothing to do with cultural values and preferences. And this is something we need to keep in the forefront. We really need to protect this idea of autonomy and not using other people for our purposes. And a lot of times what relativism does and ethical egoism does is that it allows us to use other people for our benefit. Period, end. And that's why we are not going to visit relativism again, and please don't write it in your papers because I don't like it. Okay? And that's why I don't like it, and most philosophers don't like it. Most philosophers will fight against relativism. Why? Because we recognize that there are these absolute standards of morality. David Wong, who is at Duke, will argue for relativism, but his relativism is interesting, and it's not on the level that you hear of it on the street. It's different what he's arguing for. He just says there's widespread disagreement, and I agree with that. There is widespread disagreement, but I don't think that cancels out the idea that there are some binding standards. So, that said, get ready for your test, and on your papers, let me make this statement. On your paper, some of you are frustrated with the grade that you got in the first paper. It's just the way it is. Philosophy papers are difficult to write. If you got a 7 or higher, that's perfectly fine. The 6.5, it's not like you're not going to be able to come back from that. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to help you to think critically, and there are some problems with your papers. They're not where they need to be, but there's plenty of opportunities to make up that grade. So please don't give up on that issue. And if you're thinking that I'm saying you wrote a bad paper, I'm not. I'm just saying it's not where it needs to be, and I can't put a grade ethically. I can't put a grade on there that's higher than what it really is. If you want to consult me on your papers, feel free. Whatever effort that you put into those papers, whatever work you put in, whatever conversation you want to have with me regarding your papers, I'm more than happy to do that. Somebody had asked me if you will have contact with me. You can have as much or as little contact with me as you want. I have office hours. You can send me an email. I'm happy to do that. So with that said,